big and little. Hello, so welcome to the video. This is going to be a sort of a progress one because I've got another couple of videos in the pipeline, but I've not been able to finish them. So excuse the noises in the background. That's my family getting rid of stuff in the big van that you've just seen. So first of all, sorry because I haven't got my external mic anymore because I made the big mistake of leaving it on my dashboard and it fell onto the steering wheel, and as you can see it's well and truly blocked in there and I can't get it out, so I'm going to have to cut either end and hope that eventually the bit that's left in there won't cause any worries or any problems. So we'll give that a bit of a snip there. I've also got underneath as well to do. Can't really see it very well with the camera. It goes anyway. It goes underneath the steering wheel, under there. So if I can put it out or not. And there we go. So good job. No need to unwind anything. But it already broken. I don't know what happened, but it was attached to something, and when I turned the steering wheel it just broke. So the plan is for the van to go to the garage, the local garage, because I've hit upon a few small problems. The first job is going to be cleaning out the van because it looks awful. It's truly awful. The gear sticks are very mouldy, and so is the door. There's mould everywhere, and of course inside I've got bits of tree. The next bit of progress will be stick that up there, sorting this battery out, because as you can see it's a bit cruddy and I don't know how old this battery is. I suspect it's been there for a good amount of years. Whether it's the original battery that was with the van when it was manufactured, I've no idea. In that case, the battery is really old, and I don't think, really don't think it's going to last as long as since 2011 when the van was built. So basically, the problem I've got is it's helpful the lights come on my phone so I can see. But if you sit at the end of my finger there, there's a nut and there's another one next to it. Now, I've been talking online to a few people on Twitter, and they've said to me that those nuts are nylon nuts, that nylon thread inside, and I've got this silly situation where I can undo them. Well, not undo them in fact, because they just turn around and don't do anything. The head of the bolt is actually underneath the floor, so it's somewhere under there. So I've decided to send my van to the local garage so that they can fit a new battery. I've got a new battery already actually, but it's a case of having it fitted. So I think those two bolts, before I forget to say, the two bolts that are down there that I showed you earlier, are holding that clamp in place. It clamps over to the bottom of the battery, which is currently out of focus. So I've got a new battery, a Pullman FB440, so that's no problem. And I also bought this box, so I'm going to be taking we're going to be taking the van to the garage and seeing if they can fit this box and the battery. And then the next thing to do at the garage is to have an oil change, because I've no clue when the oil was last changed. I would have thought when they replaced the engine, but having checked the oil not so long back, it was a bit black. So in case you're wondering what's underneath the driver's seat, this is it. So you've got a nice little cubby hole under there, and I'll keep my warning triangle, my yellow vest, which is required in France, you need to carry those around, my little hoover and my brush. So next it's going to be time to clean the floor and everything else. So the van's had a bit of a clean, just cosmetic clean, I suppose, using lingette or wet wipes as you call them in English. And I guess in these COVID times we need to do something to keep things clean. So getting everything clean, ready for tomorrow when the van goes to the garage. So it doesn't look too bad actually. There we go. Succeed in scratching the floor when I put the battery in. The battery's going to live in here until I take it to the garage. And even the mould on the gear stick has gone, and some of the mould on both the doors with mould on both sides. So that's going to be okay for now. One problem has been this. I'll show you where it is in relation to everything else. It's right in the corner of the floor, next to the wheel arch. And before I'd use some epoxy putty to try to repair it, which was probably a stupid idea on my part, because little by little it's split and it just comes away, and if anything it's made things a bit worse because it's taken a bit of the floor away with it. And you can see, we can now see the driveway through the floor. So I need to find some way of repairing this. It's starting to crack, which isn't good. Nothing's moving at the minute. This is a bit, but I think I'm going to have to get some epoxy resin rather than epoxy putty to repair it somehow. I need something that's flexible, because this, in fact it's strange because just before I started to do all these bits and pieces of preparation ready for the garage, I saw a French program on a channel called RMC Découvert, a program called Vintage Mechanic. In that particular episode they were renovating a Citroën Méhari, which is basically the Jeep with 2CV chassis and the same engine, but it is made out of the same stuff as this, PVC. But there's two sorts of PVC. There's a PVC that's quite subtle. I don't think that is very subtle, but I think it's more the case on the, if we close the door, it's more the case on the door here. You can see it. If we push it, it's got some give in it. The idea being that to show a little bit of a shock against something, then it retakes its shape, which is the theory behind the Méhari, which has a subtle UPVC, if I can say it. So this van is very similar, because some of the panels that are going to get shocks are soft UPVC, whereas this part is fiberglass. In some cases, in the case of this Méhari, somebody repaired part of the flooring in fiberglass, so that's not really a very good idea. So the problem is that with this bit of epoxy putty, it's not flexible, it's very hard and brittle. And so because the floor is sort of the same material as the doors, so basically this van vibrates a lot, and when you go over a bump, obviously this plastic shakes a lot, and I need something that's going to be flexible to replace that. Anyway, I've gone completely off subject, but it was interesting anyway. So yeah, the next thing will be to send the van to the garage. So we're going to say goodbye to the big van for a bit. It's my wife and my two kids have used it to get rid of some garden waste, and we're in the lucky position where my wife can borrow the van. So hopefully you can still hear me, because I've got my external mic on, but basically if I plug that in, plug B. Right, if I plug that in, you can see that, well there, it's up to 14. But I think that the leaving this plugged in is not really a good idea because it drains the battery. Even though it's just sort of like an LED display, and I imagine those are LEDs as well in there. You know, it's, if you leave it on sort of for a few days, it tends to, you know, to suck the power away, which I found out this morning because I'd actually charged the battery up over the weekend on Saturday, Sunday, so that's what, 3 days ago, 3 days ago, and found that the level was something like 11.5, and the thing was flashing, you know, because that was sort of like a lower limit of being able to start the van. And so of course I had problems starting the van earlier on, before I started filming. They started straight away because it had been running for a little while, but at the moment I've got 14.2. Been doing a few little experiments because I wanted to see how the old battery would perform. Well, first of all, we found out that I can't leave this plugged in. Even if you don't switch on these individual plugs, it still drains the battery just with this plugged in. But then I started to mess about a little bit and started putting on everything in the van. So if I, for example, put on the hazards, turn up the heater, hopefully you can still hear me, I know, put the lights on, so lights on, hazards are on anyway, so you put the lights on. What else can I put on? Oh yeah, the window wiper. So that drops down to 10.7 with everything on. Now realistically, apart from in the dead of winter, you're not really going to be having everything on, and I don't think I'm going to be driving around with the hazard warning lights on. So if I switch those off, it goes up a little bit. Switch the heater off, so that's making the most noise. 11.2. And I'll just change hands. Switch the lights off. That's gone down, strange. 11.8. Switch that off. Now I've switched everything off now. 12.4. So if all the lights on, headlights, full beam. So that drains the battery considerably. So basically the problem I've been having is leaving the lights on is not really a good idea, even for a short amount of time. Now if I switch this off now, well, see, it's dropping right down and the battery is just, it's got up to 12 now. Good. Right, it just proved me wrong probably. But the lights are an issue. The battery doesn't like me leaving the lights on. I suppose with any car, any vehicle, that's going to drain the battery quite a bit, but on this van it drains it quite considerably. So if I turn on the ignition to heat up the glow plugs, then you see it dropped down to 10. I didn't film it because I was filming the dashboard, but it dropped down to 10. And now it's 11.5, 11.7. Now I know it's going to start because it's only just been switched off. You see? Okay. So switch off again. So the problem really is that A, not to leave the lights on, and B, heating the glow plugs up to start the engine is quite annoying because you can see that it takes a lot of juice to heat those, you know, to preheat the plugs before I can turn the starter. So thanks for watching, and hopefully next time you'll see the results of their handiwork regarding the box there, which I've got my wet wipes in, dirty wet wipes. Regarding the box, the battery and the oil change.